Marketers, jumpa lagi dengan saya Bianca dalam program CL Corner, sebuah program yang mengangkat praktik-praktik pemasaran yang mengusung kreativitas, inovasi, entrepreneurship, dan leadership. Marketer sektor pariwisata telah banyak belajar bagaimana menyikapi krisis selama pandemi COVID-19 di 2 tahun terakhir. Untuk membangkitkan kembali destinasi pariwisata, para penggiat di dalamnya perlu mengusung berbagai inisiatif seperti yang dilakukan Pacific Asia Travel Association atau PATA dalam menghadirkan program Tourism Destination Resilience. Lalu seperti apa kontribusi dari program Tourism Destination Resilience ini? Simak pemaparan dari Liz Ortiguera selaku CEO PATA pada acara The Second Planet Tourism Indonesia 2021 yang bertajuk Beyond Recovery Toward Sustainability pada Rabu 22 September 2021 yang digelar secara virtual berikut ini.
In June, and I have many, even though the last few years I shifted outside of travel into startup and entrepreneurship world, I have many friends in the industry, and certainly so many have been impacted very hard. So, coming in, I have a sense of urgency around how to help our individual members and the network and the industry at large in terms of, how can we support you in the recovery and building back better so that we can all have even better models once the tourism recovery happens. Next page, please. So these are, I won't go into this in too much detail, but these are the 8 measures that PATA is doing to support the recovery. So very quickly, first, we have a crisis resource center on our webpage that we developed with ADB GIZ. Second, in August, I kicked off for our government members a COVID's Learning Share Best Practice series of meetings in partnership with World Bank. And here we would like to support our destinations in learning from each other and also from COVID safety experts, how we can open up more quickly and safely. Third is our innovation workshop series. If you go on our website, some are open to the industry, some are members only, but we have a series of workshops to support you in terms of very practical how-tos on everything from digital marketing to entrepreneurship to leadership. So please check out our website. Fourth, we do frequent insights and trends. Just yesterday, we have a great network of experts within PATA that can give insights to how are we opening up, what are consumers looking for, how can we adapt our product so that we can recover. And so just yesterday, we did our quarterly forecast update. We had 4 research organizations who shared, their latest data and insights. So again, the recording is on our website and you can always look at that. Vaccine equity. We believe the foundation for recovery is vaccine equity. And so I am kicking off support for COVAX UNICEF, along with many of my travel industry colleagues, and we will be announcing this publicly shortly. Sixth is strengthening the PATA global community. And this is through our partnerships, through connecting our members more and seeing how we can support each other in more and unique ways. 7 is collaboration with global organizations like WTTC, IATA, and other global organizations in how we are doing learning share. We meet bi-weekly to share what's happening in each of our regions and looking for ways to collaborate to address things like health passports and as well as this initiative with vaccine equity. And then lastly, this is the one most relevant for today, Destination Resilience Initiative with GIZ. Number 8, so on the bottom right, this is an initiative that we kicked off in June. We have a 20-person expert task force putting together a program, a framework to support destinations in preparing and becoming more resilient for tourism to return. Next page, please. Next page. So why a TDR? So this addresses, TDR, as we can see with COVID, there are vulnerabilities we need to address to ensure that we can address the current pandemic, but also ensure that our destinations are ready. I believe that the destinations that do open up first in our region, they will certainly see a surge of traffic. And so this in itself can bring challenges as well. One of the examples is what we saw with Hawaii. Hawaii, they did excellent practices in making sure that they were safe from COVID. And then when they did open up, there was so much pent up demand that it became very challenging for the destination. So maybe you saw 2 or 3 weeks ago, the governor of Hawaii had to say, please don't come. So if you can imagine, it's like a feast and famine, or a drought and then a flood. And so that's what they did. So our goal is to help destinations working with DMOs to improve the governance and make sure that, that we do build back in line with the Sustainable Development Goals, and also to address any risks that you may have. And so the goal is to have, a healthy, prosperous, responsible tourism return. Next page. TDR, so Tourism Destination Resilience for Local Economic Transformation. Resilience is the only way forward. So resilience, if you can think about it, is it is a foundation for every action, strategy, or path that a destination wishes to make, and its preparation. Next page. So within our destination resilience framework, we're addressing different types of risks. So for example, on the left in the table, environmental risk, health and safety, community, economic, and visitor resilience. So in addition to COVID is just one category. We can imagine, the challenges that come with over-tourism. And so it can be anything from habitat destruction in the environmental category, or it can mean, health and safety, food insecurity. How can we ensure that, the food supply is healthy, both for the local community as well as the visitors? Community resilience, are we making sure that as we develop tourism, there is more equity in terms of income distribution, so that the local community is really benefiting also from that growth and not just the top tier? Economic resilience, so for example, financial crisis, financial leakages, making sure that supply chain disruption, making sure that the system is intact. And then with visitor resilience, making sure that there's no negative social media influence. These are just some of the considerations that we need to make, and to make sure that when we do return to travel, it is sustainable and it's healthy and very positive. So on the bottom right, I mentioned there are a few additional modules that will be added: payments infrastructure, SME financing, so that the small and mid-sized businesses can benefit, and cybersecurity. That's something that all organizations need to be mindful of today. Next page. So in this model, if you look at the right, sustainability is a word that's often used, has been used for many, many years in travel. But what is resilience? Resilience is the foundation for sustainability. Resilience means that your destination can take capacity, can take the crowd, and that there's no negative impact. So what resilience is, like the foundation for sustainability. Sustainability just means maintain. Can your destination keep the balance in the ecosystem that you have? Resilience is, can we address any negative impact that is potential to come? Next page. So how does the project work? So right now I mentioned that we have a 20-person expert team creating the assessment along all of these categories, and we're preparing online training. So it will be a survey combination in the beginning of a course, TDR course. There will be a library of resources, then a risk and resilience assessment. In November, December of this year, we will be piloting with 4 PATA member destinations, and then supporting them in doing an assessment. Where do I have risk in my destination? Then we give them a risk exposure index to let them know where are the areas that you need to strengthen. And we'll give consultative workshops. And then lastly, a resilience certification. So we will start with piloting this in 4 different destinations with a combination of online and, if it's possible, local language in-market training. And then we look to share the experiences with those 4 first markets and then launch more broadly next year. So for the DMOs, this is an investment in your destination to make sure that when we restart, it really is, we can build the capacity to take on a healthy level of tourism so that we can restore jobs, restore the economy, and make sure that it's not, impacted in a negative way after we, open up, and address the COVID challenges. So this is really meant to help our destinations have a more sustainable opening. So with that comes to the end of my presentation, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Sari Ayu Putih Langsat Facial Foam membersihkan dan membantu mengangkat sel kulit mati secara optimal. Sari Ayu Marta Tilaar. Sari Ayu Putih Langsat Facial Foam membersihkan dan membantu mengangkat sel kulit mati secara optimal. Sari Ayu Marta Tilaar.
Marketis Program Tourism Destination Resilience adalah jawaban dari kebutuhan industri pariwisata untuk bertahan. Karena kemampuan dalam bertahan diyakini menjadi fondasi yang kuat untuk mencapai destinasi pariwisata yang sustainable untuk generasi mendatang. Saya undur diri, sampai jumpa di episode berikutnya.